Okay, Ohio State beat Utah in a wild Rose Bowl last season. Utah gets upset in its first game of the season on the road against Florida. Former Louisiana head coach Billy Napier gets his first win as Gators head coach over a top 10 opponent thanks to quarterback Anthony Richardson, rushed over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. Emory, what's your reaction to the upset in the Swamp?
Well, I'm upset firstly because I'm watching former Louisiana head coach Billy Napier, former Louisiana running back Montrell Johnson, former Louisiana offensive lineman Osiris Torrance have a field day tonight against the Utes. But you love the fact that they leaned on their best players, their run game, their quarterback. And what I came away most impressed with was how someone like Amari Burney really was getting cooked all throughout the game on those seam routes in the passing game. But he's a guy that stayed true and ended up making the play of the game, winning the ball game on defense. And that's how you stay locked in mentally. Forget the bad plays. You can have another opportunity to make another play. But that offense with Anthony Richardson, like I've said before, like I've said all summer, this guy I have as a number 1 quarterback over C.J. Stroud, over Bryce Young, because he has the highest ceiling. And we now see him play well situationally. He was calm as a cucumber out there on the field as if he had 17 timeouts and 17 minutes left in the game. He marched him down the field and got the game-winning points.
The SEC improves to 8-1 in their last 9 Week 1 games against the Pac-12. I mean, that's, that tells you that the Pac-12 has been struggling, and they haven't they haven't had a college football playoff team since 2016. That was Washington. And now you have to think about, is this a shot that, is this over? Does Utah just play themselves out of the college football playoff with this result?
I don't think so, because when you watch the game, you saw how Utah, if you just switch uniforms, they played a lot like Florida. So I can see them being a team that only has 1 loss, which would be this game, because of how well they play. Cam Rising showed that he has the mental fortitude to drive a team down when they need a touchdown to win. So I like the way they showed that resolve on the road. They're going to have to worry about USC. We saw them beat the brakes off Rice earlier today. So, yeah, Utah still can find themselves in the mix for the playoff at the end of the season. But, man, this was a tough loss for them, number 7 in the country, losing to an unranked team. It shows you why preseason polls really don't matter. You have to look at the matchups, and pound for pound, Florida just gave them a little bit more of an edge than what they had out there on the field.
Look, for Florida and Billy Napier, I mean, this really kickstarts his era. What does this win mean for Billy Napier and the Gators? Because they're not expected to contend right away, but now getting a win against a top 10 opponent, that has a lot of weight on it.
Absolutely. It helps you buy in to what he's selling. So if you're a freshman on this team, you're like, okay, maybe coach says these things, and I don't know if he means what he says, but you go out there and you win games like that. If you're an upperclassman, you get a new coach in, and you're like, well, he sounds like every other coach we've had. But when you win these games, now the buy-in happens. I bet you they're going to have the most intense week of practice going into that Kentucky game next week. So I like the way that they went out there and won. If it was a blowout, you may have some people not taking this win seriously. If they lost, you have some people questioning whether or not the different things that they do at practice works or not. But when you have that type of win with a new coaching staff, the buy-in is about to be electric. It's about to be immediate, and they're going to start paying dividends right away.
Yeah, you don't just roll into the Swamp and get a win. One of the toughest places to play in all of college football. Emory Hunt bringing it down for us here on CBS Sports HQ. Emory, thanks. And for all things college football, check out the Cover 3 podcast. Host Chip Patterson, joined by Tom Fornelli, Danny Cannell, and Bud Elliott as they take you from National Signing Day to the National Championship with in-depth analysis. Every week during the season, you'll get picks against the spread. Loyal listeners will tell you it's one of the best podcasts on the market. The Cover 3 podcast. Download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.